Welcome back to the Alternative Highs podcast, the number one podcast in Southwestern Ontario. It's just a fact. Quick PSA, 95%, and I just went through the analytics yesterday, are not subscribed. So please just hit the subscribe button. Helps me. And I don't actually have much to add on to that. So that
just do it.
Show. Yeah, thanks.
Stop listening to us right now.
Do what
Just
Ben
go
says
subscribe.
to do. And like as you can see, my guest today is a returning. His interview last time was so informative, and we had just met, and now we've had a chance to get to know each other. Ben Srokosz, you've had so much happen since the last interview. I think the last interview was just months prior to the Deep Southwest.
Yep.
And you had many other projects going on at that time, but that was the baby at that time.
Yeah, it was underway. We were like getting ready to do it, I think, or just really excited about it.
The release was, yeah.
Or we had filmed it and we're waiting to, I don't recall exactly the time frame, but I do know that we talked a lot about it. And it was an exciting time, and it's still kind of happening.
I was going to say, so post that, what's it been like for you?
Oh man, when you work on a project like that, it's sort of like you're not going to get full creative, incredible projects like that all the time. So there's like a little bit of a depression that sets in because you're like, oh, I don't get to work every day on a show that has all my friends in it, that I get to record original music, I get to film, I get to edit, I get to color grade, I get to we got to do everything on that. And so it's kind of hard to beat that, you know what I mean? But we've continued to work on it. We've continued to share it with people, and we filmed another music video recently for it. And it's, and I just keep getting together with Pat and Megan and talking about creative adventures that we want to get on. So
you talked about that music video. Let's just,
sure.
That was pretty cool. It took you telling me that was you on the
I don't make like drums a big thing in my life anymore. I still play drums, but I don't make it this thing, you know? And so there are a lot of people in my life now that don't actually know that I do that.
Yep.
I feel like I have these eras in my life, and there was like an era where that was my thing, right? I was a drummer, and then I have other eras, so it was awesome to be asked in that music video to just hop on. At first it was, Ben, can you play drums on the song?
Yeah.
And we had to rush it for we had to finish the song for a movie that I was working on at the time, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yeah.
And we got it done right under the wire. Pat and I really got that. It turned out wonderful, and got it in the movie, got it in the premiere. And then they were like, we want to make a music video for this one. Will you sit in on the kit in the actual video? Of course I will.
Yeah.
So it was fun. But
what's it like working alongside of those two?
Oh man,
Pat, when you see Pat behind the video camera, and when you see Pat in front of the video camera, he can turn things on and off so easily, and he's so refined. But how does that creative between the two of you go? What's he like there?
Well, so Pat Whalen is who we're talking about, and his wife Megan Whalen, who are both incredible creative people that I like to divide my life into. I do this a lot, but so I say these profound statements, but I always say I like to divide my life into pre-Pat and Megan, post-Pat and Megan.
Yeah, it's funny.
Because when you meet people like that, it's not even about just meeting friends. It's about like your life taking this whole other direction. So meeting those two, now I have this direction where anytime I want to do anything creative and I want to have like the best people in it, I have these friends that I can just call up, and they can sing and they can act and they can dance and they can come up with great ideas. They're hilarious. So anyways, Pat in particular, Pat's just this, most of the time, fairly quiet guy, but you get him in front of a camera and you give him direction, and he's kind of like Ron Burgundy, you know, he'll just do whatever you tell him to do, you know,
amazing.
And he'll read whatever the prompter says in a way.
I was really quite amazed because I had just met them just previous when I did you. Like, it was crazy how quickly that became such a strong friendship, like checking in on me all the time and making sure I was good.
They're awesome people. And Pat, along the way, had told me that he played music, and I never really thought a lot of it. He had a guitar hanging on his wall. He would sometimes talk about it. I guess in my mind, I almost thought like, yeah, okay, sure. Like you're this great actor and you're this great comedian and you're this great, I'm sure, great musician too. And then of course he busts out his guitar and starts writing songs and
Yeah.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and that song is amazing. And
It was really cool.
I think they just put so much passion into what they do that it's kind of undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether you're a fan of their music or not, you can't deny
no, it's
what's
just
great about it.
Yep.
Yes.
Your movie that you're just talking about, tell me about that.
Yeah,
you're always working on something really cool.
Yeah, so we worked on there's a film that we made in Chatham at the Chatham jail that was kind of the big news, called Fresh Meat.
Yep.
And that was the second film that I have worked on with the director, Daniel Torres. We worked on a film called Here for Blood a few years back, and that was sort of my first, I guess, big film that I worked on, where it's like a film set and a crew and all those sort of things.
Yep.
And that went so well that we talked about, well, why don't we make a film in Chatham?
Yep.
And we had this jail as a location, and that sort of led to, you know, him crafting this great story. And then my part in it was just knowing everybody in the community and being able to pull all those strings and being able
Put
to
all the logistics
just get the
together.
favors and get the people involved and excited and spread the word. And then, so sort of working on that primarily in the sound department, but the more we worked on it, the more I sort of ended up working on a lot of different parts of the production. And it's done, but it's very much like about to be re-released again to the world now. So it's being distributed now worldwide, and we're just sort of waiting. I'm working on some mixes right now, some 5.1 surround that I'm really pumped about. I thought it was great already, and then you mix it in surround and it's like on this whole other level, and you just like fall in love with the movie again.
That's amazing.
So I can't wait to show that to friends and family again and get it out to the world. And,
yep.
And yeah, that was a great project. We're still going on.
Yeah.
When people say, what are you doing? It's like, some of these things never end. It's
I was going to say, you just keep making them better for re-release sort of thing, or how does that work?
These things they're a lot of work. And so you sort of do the steps of what you need to do. So at the time we needed to finish the sound mix to show it at like a local theater, for example, and then a film festival. And then when it takes that next step, you're like, okay, now we have to do proper surround sound mixes for the larger theaters.
Okay.
And then the next step is then you do a mix for international. So you make the film ready to be dubbed in other languages, which means you take all the English voice out of it.
That's cool.
So that's a whole other thing.
Yep.
Going through a hour and 46-minute film or whatever it is. I think it's around that. But removing every word and keeping all the sound effects in there.
That
to
sounds
get
like
nerdy,
a lot of
but
work.
It is a lot of work. So, and it's a lot of fun.
I was going to say, you get pretty excited about that. The editing part of anything, I have, and this is very different, a podcast, but I have a whole new respect, and thank God Daniel came on, because editing is the hardest part of any creative part of the art. And that could be of any art.
It's a different use of your brain for sure. It's like taking the exit on the highway. It's like you're on the creative highway and then you take the exit and then you turn into editing mode, and now you're analyzing things and you're making sure things blend and fade and making sure the edits are just at the right spot so that your brain sort of is on board with the edit.
How do you get there though?
Oh man, I don't know.
Because it seems like you might like the editing part more than...
I'm a Gemini, everybody. My whole life, people have, when you say you're a Gemini, people like chuckle, and I'm not into that stuff.
Okay.
But the one thing I do know about Geminis is it's like a dual personality kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's not a dual personality in like you can't trust the person. It's a dual personality in that you can take on many roles and you can be different people. And like, definitely I can see it because I can 100% do the goof around artistic creative stuff.
Yep.
And then I can sit for 12 hours and make sure that like one shot is good.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
I find it so thrilling it's like problem solving in a way.
Yep.
And I love the fact that I can do it. And I'm not saying nobody can, but
in
my sphere,
it's a very, very limited.
I get a weird sort of excitement out of sitting in my office and solving little problems that I know I can fix, that I know other people are never going to notice, that make it better.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy it. And, right now I have like 127 markers in my timeline that I have to address. I have to go through 127 things and make sure that this is good and this is good. Some people would find that terrifying. I find it like
I got a little anxious when you said
yeah.
it.
And you knock down one at a time, and you just think like, yeah, this film just got better by 127th, you know. And
It's a wild way to look at it.
and so and then when I get done, I'll go through and probably have another 100 notes, because then you watch it again and you pick up a bunch of other things.
So does it ever get perfect for you?
No, I don't think that's really possible. You
when
definitely
you
have to
release it, then
that's when you call giving up.
Is that when you have the hardest time?
Yeah, it's like giving up. You're like, I'm giving up. I could keep working on it. I could keep making it better. I guess I'm giving up.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to let people experience it. And then if you watch it like 6 months down the road or something, you don't notice that stuff anymore. And I've learned over time that the more you drive yourself crazy in the editing part, the more you're going to appreciate it later. Because later you're going to it's going to be so much better.
Yep.
And you're not going to remember the stuff that was the problem. And then you might pick up something that you did fix and go like, yeah, that's pretty good. Like,
see that part?
Like, hey, did you see that? And they're like, no, nobody ever notices.
Hilarious.
Just you, because you're a nerd, you know.
I would not. Like I said, I have a whole new respect.
Yeah.
It is literally the bane of my existence was trying to edit anything and put it together. What's your projects are never done, you say, but what's next for you? Any big projects that you're getting ready to?
You know, there's a couple. This is a weird time to answer that question, because I'm kind of I'm right in between a bunch of things. So I'm kind of just doing I'm enjoying it. I'm working on a lot of music right now, actually.
Yeah.
Like I have some musicians coming today to just work on a music video that we shot last year that we haven't edited yet.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we're going to work on that. So I'm working on like all these little things, and I have musicians. I have a music studio as well. So I decided, I sort of manifested before Christmas that I want 2026 to be the year of music for me. Like I just want to make lots of music.
I actually remember sitting in your office with Jody and you saying that.
Yeah. And it just started happening. Like now I've got all these people calling me. They want to do recording. I have recording on Friday with another musician, a friend that I didn't really realize was this great musician. And she's going to bust out her guitar and start singing. And so that's exciting. And then I have a couple little film projects coming up later in the year that I'm sort of waiting for. Nothing, a short film with a guy out of London that I'm really excited about. First time I've worked with him. His name is Jason Hooft. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I know him as Jason, but just this really great sort of solo, like he shoots a lot of the stuff himself. He edits a lot of the stuff himself, and he just wanted to take that next level with the sound. And so he heard through channels about what I do and brought me in, and I helped him shoot some scenes as well.
What kind of
it's a horror thing. There's a lot of the locally made stuff tends to be in the horror zone, just because I think there's wide audiences for it, and it's a great way to get a start. This one's sort of like a bit of like a psychological, like you don't know when you're watching the short film if what you're seeing is what's really happening or not, or is it all in this person's head. It's one of those. And shorts are a great medium because you can kind of avoid some of the story building stuff and just kind of get to the fun parts. And a lot of these shorts are proof of concept if they ever want to make a feature. So I don't know if that's the case with Jason. I think it is what it is, but he's a brilliant guy. I'm really excited to work on this project with him now because I just see now like there's another creative engine for me to like hitch my wagon to,
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
What will there ever be a season 2, do you think?
It's too early to say whether there'll be like a season 2 like what it was.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee that there's going to be other Deep Southwest. We're working on it.
I was going to say, it's one of those things, once you opened up the YouTube channel, other than the financing, of course, but how did you guys notice it? Like locally, you get more traction, you see more, or how did the YouTube work for you?
That was a bit of a tough decision, I think, because when you make these things, you make them, you premiere them, then you show them on, like Bell was, showed it for us, and it's still on Bell, actually. And then, without saying too much, I don't want to give too much of it away, but basically, then you start to think like, well, we could do this with the show, we could do that with the show, all these different things. And because we weren't ready to dive right in to just keep going, we thought, oh, it could be a while before we are ready to do the next steps. So like, wouldn't it be better to just get as many eyeballs on it as possible? Like a lot of our friends and family have already seen it. It's already on a network if somebody wants to go watch it that way. So why don't we just, and they had no problem with us putting it on
I was just
YouTube.
going to ask that. What's the rules on that? You didn't really care.
We
Eh?
were, to our surprise, they had no issues at all. They're just like promoted as much as possible. So
That's cool.
So I think for Pat and Megan, it's just about getting, they have so many other ideas that it's almost like just get it out there so it's out there and then just move forward.
Yep.
And we've been meeting about new ideas and in a lot of different ways too. Like not just new ideas about the show, but new forms of of content to create and things like that. And so that's about all I can really say on that without giving things away. But
if you,
but that video is a great taste of like different things we do.
That music video was exciting.
Yeah. I was actually like, I knew it was, I knew the song's good and I knew we would have fun making it, but I was still very delightfully surprised with, the reaction of it. Like everywhere I went,
I got chills.
I live in this little universe I've created in Chatham, Ontario, where all I really care about is that I can go to the coffee shop and somebody pats me on the back and says, "Great job." Or my buddy invites me to a podcast that is like amazing, which by the way, like this place is awesome.
Daniel and his wife did a lot of the designing here and they did do great. It is a lot of fun. And because I like to go to that same coffee shop and I like sitting there chatting with everybody because this community is so supportive.
It is. And I'm not trying to, put myself down here by saying this, but I don't really have ambitions to like fly halfway across the world to get credit from people. I get more fulfillment knowing that that person that I see every day smiled and laughed at my video. That's more important to me, or that my
100%.
Mom liked it, or my sister liked it, or my wife and son liked it, like whoever. It's like, that's the everyday life. That's the stuff that drives me creatively, is knowing that my friends and family like what I do, not like strangers. That's great.
It's cool. And
but a stranger will become a friend.
Yeah.
And then it's more friends and family. That's the way 100%. I look at it. So I make this stuff for them. I make this stuff just for, and even just for my own amusement.
Well, you manifested music. I'm going to ask you what I think is an impossible question, but you got to pick one lane. Music.
Oh man, you probably prepared this question? Didn't you?
I did not. I just thought of it. I was like, how do you? Because I kind of figure you don't have a choice, and you love them both so much that you could.
Surprisingly, for such a difficult question, I actually find it a very easy answer. I think that I would have to go with music. I think that of all the things that I could never. I'm thinking the post-apocalyptic version of that, which is like, I can only keep one thing and make sure that one thing survives. And if I can make sure one thing survives, it's music for sure. Because music can accentuate everything in your life. Good times, bad times. You can say that about film too, but you still sort of have to sit down and put your eyeballs on it. Music can follow you everywhere to the ends of the earth, and music has made such an impact in my life. It's the most important driving force in my life, no contest.
To hear you talk like that, and after just kind of reflecting back to the meeting I was talking about from last summer, whenever we sat down at your office, it is really cool that you were able to do that. That's got to be a fulfilling moment for you, like, and to be, what are we getting ready to go into the 4th month and you're this busy on that side of things already?
Yeah, it's good. It's just like, and I mean, maybe I just am having more conversations about it or whatever, but I just, there's something really special about, like when I think about Deep Southwest, for example, right? Like Pat he's a great songwriter and some of his songs are funny. Of his songs are meant to be acted out on screen, like they're written to be performed.
They're so hilarious.
But some of his songs are genuinely like just beautiful, beautiful songs. And the idea that I got to be the one to sit in that room and help him take the song from the guitar to a recording, and now it can be shared with everyone forever, that is like a crazy, like goosebump inducing feeling to know that for like the next 50 years, anytime I hear that song, if it shows up somewhere, if it shows up wherever, I can always think back to the fact that like we made that together. And that, sharing something that personal too is a really special thing. Yeah. Really vulnerable thing. So being the conduit for people, helping them get that out there and helping them make it, I don't want to say good, but a lot of times they've only done it for themselves, so they don't
I
know.
was gonna say, how hard is that to get somebody out of their shell
Yeah,
when you're used to working one side of it and now you're this side of it? Is it harder to work with musicians or is it harder to work with actors? And then you have the double whammy.
Yeah. Well, I think with musicians, it's like at the beginning, what you have to realize about musicians is that they've thought about this song very deeply already. So they've gotten it to a certain point that they've even played it for you. Yep. Means that they've played it for probably a year for themselves, and they've crafted it. Every once in a while, somebody writes one of those songs that they just came out with, but most of the time they've labored over it, and they've labored over every word, and they're taking every word literally. Do you ever think when you listen to a song, sometimes you just listen, you don't even think about what the lyrics mean? Well, if you're singing that song, every lyric means everything. So first you just have to listen. You don't comment. You just listen to what they're playing and you like soak it in. And then after they've, laid down a basic track of it, or you've played it, and there's this little opening that happens, and the musician they look at you like they want your honest
acknowledgement feedback.
I think they just want to know, like, is it good? Is it like, what are your thoughts? And then and then that's like the scariest part, because if it really does need work, I feel that it's my duty to tell them. 100%. Like, I can't just say, yeah, that's great.
I just can't see you
I'll
pumping somebody's tire for free, like, and being ethical. That's how you become so successful, is honesty.
I just think that they came to you for a reason to record it. If you just say it's fine and then you let them go out and then there's something not great about that song and they ever discover that, they're going to look back and go, wait a second, like, you were supposed to help me with this. So yeah, you just have this like profound responsibility to help them be the best it can be. But if the musician says, no, like, this is what it is, respect. So you challenge them, and if they push back on you and they dig in, it's almost like, well, then more power to you. Let's steer right into the ditch together. And I've been a part of both. I've been a part of like where I was right and something is way better. I was just
gonna say, have you been on anything where you're like, oh God, I don't want my name on this?
Yeah, I've recorded stuff before that just isn't really that great, and you're kind of like, whatever, I helped them. They're going to be proud of this. That's all that matters.
That is.
And then there's other stuff where you're like, I'm going to shout from the rooftops that I worked on this song.
This is cool.
And it's all fun, like, regardless. But sometimes, and you work on stuff where you're really wrong. Like, somebody digs in and tells you their reasons and you think something would be better, and they do what they want anyways. And then a year later you listen to the song and you're like, they're right. Like, this is a great song.
That would be a cool moment to have. And especially, you're right.
Oh yeah. No, when you're creating something, it's hard to tell sometimes. It's almost like you explore it, but you don't know how it's going to come.
I was going to say, like you said, 6 months to a year down the road, things change so often. Your perspective, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
I couldn't even, that would be kind of cool thing because when I hear something, and then you hear it again a month later, it's, oh, that's catchy. I can see why everybody likes it.
Have you ever had a band that you like, they come out with a new record and you just like hate it right away? Like, you're just like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't what this band does. And then like a year later, it's the greatest. It's your favorite album.
I literally had that.
It's because they challenged you and they stepped out of what they're doing and they led you somewhere. And
since you brought it up, what would be the one band that you have that's your favorite that just put out a cucka butt, and then it took you a few minutes to realize?
I don't know. I don't know that there's like one obvious one, but I would just say like so many bands, like I remember when, this isn't the exact what you're asking, but I remember when Nirvana had, Nevermind, it was like the biggest band on the planet. And then they came out with In Utero, and like, in the very beginning, all the critics was like, this album is terrible.
Yep.
And some people liked one or two songs. Some people said the whole album was a failure. And then years later, people are like, it's their greatest work. And it was because they went a lot harder into like the punk rock and the noise and like the stuff that they cared about.
That's so fun.
It wasn't as polished.
Yeah.
There's another band called The Shins, and not a huge band, but I remember they released a record one time that like the whole thing was like totally forgettable. Like I listened to it once and I was kind of like, I don't remember one of those songs.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a wall of noise. Like I felt like each song didn't have any character to it. And then when I go back and listen to the album, I can't believe I ever thought that. Like I know every song and I know every nuance of every song, but I guess it was just like a new venture for them. Something different than what I was used to. So all the old bag of tricks I was used to wasn't there.
As soon as you said that, Nirvana, I was like, yep.
That was a big deal out there because of how big of a band they were, and
crazy.
And the record label didn't want to release it. They said it's unreleasable. That's a well-known story that they wanted him to go re-record it. They wanted to fire Steve Albini, who's no longer with us, but great producer. They were like, he's ruined this record. Like, it's hilarious to think that a record like that was under
and then how much did it go to make? Like all these years.
It's massive.
Nirvana was such a massive. That's crazy.
But it's because everybody fell in love with a certain thing that they did and wanted them to just keep doing it over and over. And that's the hardest thing as a musician, would be people pleasing. It's like, everybody likes this, I should keep doing it. It's so brave to just say no. Like,
you know what?
Like, I'm just gonna, it's too bad, I've got better things to do. I'm gonna show you guys. That takes a lot of guts to do that.
That would be the difficult part. You're getting ready to deliver some great advice. I was just thinking as a closer, you stepping out and doing yet another project. Is it a project or is it part of your career? We'll word it differently here, but
I think of everything like I'd call them projects. That's fair to say.
And are you still under Oak Production?
Oh yeah, Oak Productions. That's sort of just like the umbrella of everything I do. When I think of music, it's weird, but in my mind, I don't think of that as like Oak Productions always if I'm working on a record, because maybe I don't think of that as a production. I don't know. It doesn't matter though. It's just me. It's just Ben. It's like Ben did it, I guess. But that's the name that goes out to the world.
If you were to deliver some advice to somebody that was thinking about getting ready to walk the line of getting into the music industry, getting into film editing, or just taking the leap to be an entrepreneur of any type, what would be your number one piece of advice for them?
Man, the first thing that pops into my head when you say that is I'm always telling people, I speak in front of like high schools and things and colleges, not a lot, but like a couple times a year I'll go speak to young people getting into the business. So I've kind of refined this point a little bit, but it's like step one is get straight in your head why you're doing this before you just do it. Like I want to be in the music industry. Wrong. That's not, you don't say you want to be in the music industry. You say you want to make great music. You get straight. Or I want to help people communicate emotions with other people. Because going to the end of the line, I want to have a job in the music industry, that's setting yourself up for failure, because you may never get a job in the music industry. The music industry, like when I got out of school, the MP3 was invented. So I'm in school for recording engineering and this thing called the MP3 is invented. And then the next year, Napster comes out and the entire music industry tanks. So, and then all you're going to do is judge your worth on whether you have a job or whether you're making money. So get straight why you're doing it first.
Yep.
I'm going to be creative till the day I die, whether I make $1 doing it or not, because that's what I have to do. And that's what I want to do. So whether you entrepreneurship, whether it's film, whether it's music, whether it's like being a nurse or a teacher or whatever, I think if you get straight why you're doing it, you're going to do it and you're going to do it well. And all those other things are going to happen because you're so driven to do the thing that you do. So think about, and if it's not something that is going to consume your life, then make it a great hobby. Because to be in this business, I'll tell you, music and film especially, it's got to really, in a good way, consume your life. It's not just something you do on the side. You wake up, you fall asleep every night thinking about the next edit, and you wake up every morning thinking about the next edit.
I love that. Hey, Ben, we have a follower who has a question for you.
Wow.
Take a peek.
Hello, Dustin. Great show. This is a question for your guest, Ben. Ben, was there a moment that happened in your life where you just realized that filmmaking and doing this was something that you wanted to pursue? For example, when I was around 11, I used a movie maker for the first time to patch together 2 clips and tell a linear story. And when that first happened, it blew my mind, and I just realized this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. Was there a moment that inspired you, that made you think that this is something you want to pursue?
Nice.
That was a great question.
Well, so great question. That's kind of like a yes or no, yes and no in a way. I'm not going to go on forever on that, but what I mean by yes and no is that I do remember buying my first camera, and I remember I was recording a band and they were coming over, and I had this little studio space. This was a long time ago. This is like, back when cameras recorded on like little tapes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just went to Future Shop at the time. That also dates this.
Yeah.
Pre-Best Buy.
Yeah.
And I just bought a camera, and I thought, there's a lot of time when you're sitting in the studio and a band is just like doing takes and you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs like record. And it's a little boring at times. So I thought, I'm going to get a camera and I'll film what's going on in the studio. And it was totally just for fun. And then I ended up making a music video out of it for the band, of like them in the studio. I still have it. It's like super low quality. It's like 480, it's like tiny, whatever. But I do remember that kind of sparked something. It was like, oh, like I can take this to this other place. So
that's cool.
And so I don't know if that was like the moment, because to me, everything I do is just about helping other people, get across the finish line with their creative projects. I like to be the guy to help them. I'm that like problem solver fixer guy that just,
I like that.
You bring me an idea, we make it great, But I do remember that particular thing took me down that path, and then I started like bringing the camera everywhere with me. I'd go to the bar to see a band, and I would just go up to the side of the stage and just say, "Can I film your show?" And they'd say, "For what?" And I'd say, "I don't know." And they'd say, "Okay." And then I would just film it, and then I would find a way to get the video to them. Like here's and it was like burn it to a DVD and like mail it to them.
No kidding.
Like, this is so long ago.
That is hilarious. I forgot about burning.
And that kind of like started that path. It was really all through the music side of it.
That is awesome.
And then, you make music, and music videos are like little movies sometimes. So then you start editing a music video and you think like, oh, I'm like making a little short film here. Maybe I should try to make a film, And it just keeps like, and that's how everything for me goes. It's like a little incremental success, and you're like, oh, where can I take that next? And you just keep building. I never had this grand vision for anything. It was just the next project and the next project and the next project.
Just kept going with that ladder.
That's just how. So Cameron, thank you for asking. I do know.
That was a great question.
That was a really good question.
I liked that too. Kind of want to see that video too now.
But I did have those goals, like, I guess you could say I had ultimate goals. Like I'd like to work on a movie someday. Well, I've done that. I'd like to help make a record with someone that I really respect, like a musician. Not that I don't respect these guys, I do, but just musicians that were like heroes of mine. Yeah, and you're like, and I've worked with people that are heroes of mine. And then now I have to think about like, well, what's that next goal? What's the next?
I was going to say, what is the next goal? Before we close out, I got to ask you, what's the next goal?
I keep thinking in my mind, like I definitely want to make something of my own someday, like whether it be a film or like a full feature or something maybe I'll write something. Maybe I'll just take like a great script that I really love and do my own project instead of like working on other people's projects or helping other people. Maybe I'll be, it'll be the buck stops here with me on the next one. That's definitely a goal. I just don't know when that'll be. That could be way down the line. It could be right away. I don't know.
I love that about you.
When it happens, when I find the idea, I know how my brain works. Like when the idea hits me, I'll be obsessed with it, and then I'll have to do it.
I love that.
So
Ben,
there you go.
Thank you,
Dustin. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Daniel, I am good.